Welcome back, everybody. Bradley here again. This video here is going to explain and demonstrate what I use when my body is all finished being painted, what I back the body with, and also what I seal the back of the body with to protect the paint job from any type of oil or water or even fuel for the nitro cars, so that the paint doesn't get attacked or it doesn't wear off on the inside of the body. So it's pretty simple and it's a pretty easy process. I'll kind of walk you through it, but there are a few things that you have to learn when you're painting your body and you're getting close to that finished part product. So one of the biggest things that I always encourage people to do is when you're all done with a paint job, it looks great on the outside, but the inside is what you're going to have to protect. Okay. What I typically do is I use a darker color, and most often I use black, mostly for photo purposes, because if the body's going to be photographed, I like the body to where it looks like a regular car. So when you look through the windows, whether it be the A pillar, B pillar, C pillar, or anything on it, it looks like a real car. I don't like looking through a body and seeing, if the inside last coat was white or something lighter. I kind of prefer the dark color look. So once again, it's whatever you prefer on your bodies. In my case, I use black. So a couple things that you'll want to do when you're backing that with your final color. You always want to use the same paint as what you painted the body with. So for example, if you're using a lot of Createx or the Proline or any of the other paints that are water-based, use that paint to make that your final coat. Okay, so for in this case here, when I use black, I regularly use the Createx, just regular basic black paint. A couple reasons for that is, one, you're not going to have any interaction with a different type of paint that's underneath it. If you've been using that same type of water-based paint, that paint is going to stick to everything that you've been painting. Okay, what some people like to do is, I'll show you the sealer that I use after I apply the black paint. A lot of people try to cut corners, do a shortcut and kill, two birds with one stone, more or less, and they use a different colored paint as a sealer. Okay, it doesn't work because this type of paint is a lot different than what you've already been applying on it. Okay, it may not adhere well to the colors that you put onto it before, and it also may not stick as well. Okay, so rule of thumb is, what I always say is, whatever you're painting the body with, use that paint as your final coat on there. Okay, you're going to be better off doing that, because I know from over the years and the experience of doing it, the paint is not going to chip off, the paint's not going to scratch off, you're not going to have any of the other sealers attacking that paint and having it come off on you. So rule of thumb, whatever paint you're using, use that to make it for your final coat. Okay, now we'll move on to the sealer. So once the body's already painted, like here I've got one as an example, and you can see it's kind of a little bit more of a duller finish to it, but it's all painted, and I've used the black Createx paint as my choice for the last color. I now need to protect that, because right now it's still a pretty delicate paint. If you were to get some nitro fuel on it or some sort of oil or a different product that you're running in, and it sits on it for a while, it can want to attack that paint and remove it from the body. So that's what we're having to protect it from. Okay, a lot of people, and I don't understand why they do it, they'll get a body to either one of these stages after they put the sealer on it or their last coat or whatever they're doing, and they'll try to do a scratch test. Okay, all the years of racing, I've never got a paint job and then went and started scratching the hood or the roof of it or any other part of the body to see how well the paint's sticking. Okay, the paint, when it's on there, it's dry now, but it's still going to cure. It takes a little bit of time to get totally solid and sealed in and totally cured. So I don't understand why they're trying to scratch it if they're trying to prove the paint's more delicate or it's more durable than any other type of paint. The biggest thing that you're going to want to make sure is you get a good sealer on it afterwards. Okay, putting the sealer on it is going to protect it, like I mentioned, from your fuels, your oils, and any type of water or anything that gets on there. Okay, the sealer or even any type of paint that you're going to put on there is not going to protect it from scratching or rubbing or any of those areas on the bodies that's going to rub, like on a screw or a part of the chassis or a shock tower. You're not going to be able to prevent that. There are other things that you can use for that. Some people will use shoe goo. I like to use the Gorilla Tape, which is a clear tape, and you can put that on there and apply it. It's like a big heavy decal that puts on there, and it protects it from rubbing and stuff. So the sealer, regardless of whatever you put on there, it's not going to protect it from those scratches and those rub spots on the chassis. You'll want to put some additional protection, like I mentioned, like the Gorilla Tape. So they do make this sealer in a couple different varieties. The one that I've had the best luck with and I've been using for the last several years is Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover. Okay, and this is a gloss clear. You can get it in a matte clear. You can get it in a semi-gloss, I believe, a couple different varieties. But the one that I typically like to use is the gloss clear. For a couple of reasons. It seems like when it goes on, it's a little bit thicker and a little more heavier duty than the matte finish. The matte finish is really kind of a thin coating, and what I do is I like to get a buildup on it to where it's not super thick where it's adding a lot of weight to the body, but it's going to have a little bit more protection on all your cuts, all your cracks, and everything that you put on there and applied with the paint. So I use the Gloss Clear Ultra Coat 2X. This can, I think they're like $6 is what they use it for, and you're probably going to be able to spray probably, I'm going to guess, in 20 bodies or 25 bodies on it. I'll do a quick demonstration here right shortly on how I apply it. You don't have to go nuts with it. You don't have to lay it down super thick, and you don't have to let this stuff sit for a couple of days. I also hear people too where they put the sealer on it. They let it sit for 2 or 3 days or even a week before they actually go on out and use it. So I've actually painted bodies, put the sealer on it, people cut them off, and they've gone out and they've ran them yet that night. So don't hesitate or think that you have to have this sit on it for a long period of time to totally cure. When I apply this on there, and I'll show you, you'll want to stay a decent distance away. I'm guessing 9 inches to a foot away from the body. You don't want to be really up close on it to where you're going to saturate the body and let it pool in any of the corners. But you're going to get it to where you're going to go around the whole entire surface of the body. A couple, 2 or 3 dustings, and you'll see it'll start to gloss up. That's when you know that you're going to have the right amount on it. What I do is when I'm done applying that and spraying it on, I'll take it directly on out and I'll use a hair dryer on it. Okay, hair dryers are different than a heat gun or a hot iron or anything like that. It's like a medium to warm heat. You don't get it really hot. Sometimes the heat guns are so heavily concentrated, it's too much heat for one area. So a hair dryer works fine. You can use it on medium heat or even high heat and not have to worry about damaging or doing anything to the body. What it does is when you do that, it's going to take this gloss coat and it's going to seal it up nice, and it's going to dry rather quick. When you put the gloss on here and you spray it on there, your 2 or 3 coats, and you hit it with a hair dryer, it takes maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes to cover this with the hair dryer, and it's going to be dry totally to the touch. So there's no need to, like I mentioned, once you get to applying it on there and heating it up and drying it, to let it sit for a long period of time. So what a lot of people do too, and kind of just skipping back to different, they make a lot of different varieties of this, and there's a lot of different brands too. I think I used to use Krylon. For some reason, Krylon got difficult to get. So I get this at like a Lowe's or Home Depot. You can get it at, or a lot of the craft stores carry it. Yeah, so it's readily available. It's pretty easy to use. Don't get a colored version of this because it's more or less a paint. Okay, a lot of people have tried grays or blacks or whatever, and they try to use that paint for the final coat of their sealer. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you can tell by putting this on and applying it how much thicker and heavier duty this is than just a regular paint that you're going to put on there and apply with it. So it's pretty simple. I've never had any trouble with paint coming off or flaking or chipping off, or the nitro guys run them all the time, and I don't have to worry about anything with nitro attacking the paint or bleeding through or any issues at all like that. So I trust 100% that's everything that I use, and the only thing that I use on the bodies to protect the paint from it. So what I'll do now, let me know if you have any questions on the type of process that I use. I'll do a quick video now and demonstrate how I apply it and put it on there for you, so you'll have an understanding of it. So If you have any questions, please let me know and stay tuned. I'll show you that clip right now. Alrighty, so here's how we're going to apply the sealer to it. What you'll do is you'll take the body that you have that is already painted and the paint on the inside is already dry to the touch that you can feel. You get your 2X clear that I use. This is the gloss that I typically use. Make sure you have it shaken up rather well. Typically also I use a respirator while I'm spraying this for the normal amount of bodies that I do. I do have the air booth that I'm in is ventilated, so it does draw it out, but for the purposes of describing this particular body and how to do it, I'm going to leave the respirator off. But typically I'll use a respirator when I do this. Make sure you have your can shaken up well, and what you're going to do is turn it over, and I'm saying like 9 inches to a foot away is where you're going to spray it from. And what I do is I kind of treat it like a pizza. I kind of rotate it 2 or 3 times that I'm doing it to make sure I get the entire area of the body covered. And you're going to notice when I do it, I'm kind of dusting it out. I'm not really down to one area where I'm putting a heavy concentrate in one area and working my way around it. That'll be way too thick and more than what you need. So I kind of dust it on and I'll go around it 2 or 3 times, maybe even 4. I get it to where it starts to build up just a little bit of shine to it. When it does that, you know you've got more than enough on it. So let me spray some on here now and I'll show you. As you're going, you're just kind of rotating the body. And you can kind of see it start to build up. Just like that. And that's really all that you're going to need to it. If you start applying more to it, what's going to happen is we still have the window mask that's on this body yet. That needs to come off. Okay, if you start applying real heavy coats of that on there, what it's going to want to do is it's going to want to take and seal up really tight where that liquid mask for that window trim is still at, and it's going to make it difficult to pull off. So the lighter that you can go around that area but still put some sealer on it, the better off you're going to be. And you're going to find that that mask is going to pull off around that window trim a lot easier and leave you that nice crisp line. So what I'm going to do now from here, it's basically ready to take the hair dryer to it. I'll take it and heat it on up, and you'll see it's going to take maybe 2 to 3 minutes, but it'll be at the point where you can now touch that with your finger. It's going to leave a really nice, shiny, glossy finish to it to protect any of the fuel or oils or dirt on it, but you're going to be good to go after that. From then, you can basically cut the body out, mount it, and go run it. You don't have to let it sit for long periods of time to cure with the sealer that's already on it. So when you do that, I've been doing this process for many, many years. You're not going to have to worry about any of the paint flaking or chipping off or any type of interaction with using a different type of product with the water-based paints that I use on it. So hopefully that'll help you out. I will put the description of the Rust-Oleum 2X Clear that I use in the comment section of it. So that way you'll know. You can look it up at any of your hardware stores or Lowe's or anything like that to get it. So once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to both my Facebook page and the YouTube page, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.